Assalamu alaikum. Myself, Momina Khalid, and I'm the group leader of Group 1. And my group members are Faiz Siddiqui, who is the corresponding leader of my group, Laiba Munawwar, Muhammad Ahmad, and Anas Imran. So today we're going to be making a video on the mind map that we've created of the book, The Buzan Study Skills Handbook by Tony Buzan. And the division of the book is done in the following manner. So the first chapter would be covered by Anas Imran, the second by Muhammad Ahmad, the third by Laiba Munawwar, the fourth and fifth would be covered by me, and the sixth and seventh would be covered by Faiz Siddiqui. So now, without further ado, let's begin with Anas explaining the first chapter.
My name is Muhammad Anas Imran and I will explain the chapter Your Brain is Better Than You Think. Really? Introduction. Your brain is an extraordinary superpowered processor capable of boundless interconnected thought. History. Your amazing brain began to evolve over 500 million years ago, but it only in the last 500 years that we've discovered that it is located in your head. Even more amazing is the fact that 95% of what we know about your brain and how it works was discovered within the last 10 years. The brain has 5 major functions: receiving, storing, analyzing, controlling, outputting. Receiving. Your brain receives information via your sense. Storing. Your brain retains and stores the information and it is able to access it on demand. Analyzing. Your brain recognizes patterns and likes to organize information in ways that make sense. By examining information and questioning meaning. Controlling. Your brain controls the way you manage information in different ways, depending upon your state of health, your personal attitude, and your environment. Outputting. Your brain outputs receive information through thoughts, speech, drawing, movement, and all other forms of creativity. The brain has two major parts: left cortex, right cortex. Left cortex deals with logic, words, lists, lines, numbers, and analysis, the so-called academic activities. The right cortex deals with imagination, color, daydreaming, spatial awareness, gestalt. That is the whole organized picture, or as you might put it, the whole being greater than the sum of its parts and dimension. There are three types of skills: thinking better, remember more, recall instantly. Case study. Edmund, at the age of 11 years and still at his prep school, Edmund was clear in his dream. He wanted to go to Worcester College, one of the leading academic public schools in the UK. But in order to reach this goal, he had to work hard to achieve the high grades that Worcester demands. 9 months before he sat his common entrance exam, his grades were not high enough and the target seemed far off. His mother, knowing the work of Tony Buzan and all of his learning how to learn technique, set about teaching Edmund how to do mind map and how to apply them to his schoolwork. This was a turning point for him, and very quickly, instead of feeling overwhelmed by the 8 subjects that he knew he had to pass, Edmund felt in control and was able to plan his revision and study periods. First, he created a mind map on the ed subject which gave him the overview. He needed to recognize which subject needed more work. Then he created a mind map for each subject, giving a branch to the main topic heading in that subject. When the exam eventually came, instead of feeling a sense of panic, he was able to organize his thought and answer through the use of rough mind maps. The result was a resounding success. Edmund passes all of his exams with ES and went to the school of his dreams. Example: there are a lot of famous scientists, but I only name three famous scientists: Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Leonardo da Vinci. My experience in the mind map is very good. I help very I learn how to make mind map and learn the subjects, etc. My experience in mind map is very good. Working group is the best experience. I learn I learn how to get techniques set about and get the success to make the mind map.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohammed Ahmed, and today I'll be giving a short summary on chapter number 2, Obstacles to Effective Study. This chapter is further divided into three parts. First of all, a reluctant learner. Second is mental blocks to effective study. Thirdly, outdated study techniques. First, we'll talk about a reluctant learner. A reluctant learner is a person who appears not to be eager, willing, and ready to learn what you want to teach him. We can further explain a reluctant learner by telling he is very lazy, he makes up excuses while doing work, he takes very long breaks during a study or other activity, has a very bad routine, uses a phone while studying, lack of motivation, gets bored easily while doing a job. He sleeps late at night and wake up late in the morning. He has a very bad routine. He can't manage any task properly because he gets fed up very easily from them. We can further explain them as they are very hesitant, they are quiet, they are very disobedient, and they are very hesitant to participate. They won't stand up when they are called on. Now I will tell you about the second point, mental block to effective study. A mental block is when you find yourself not being able to think clearly. They are the barriers that stop you from being motivated, creative, and productive. They prevent us from achieving the goals and outcomes we set for ourselves. One of the biggest causes of mental blocks of effective study, is lack of focus and feeling overwhelmed. If you are feeling tired, stressed, or anxious, this can contribute to a lack of motivation. Throughout your studies, it can be easy to compare yourself to others, but you shouldn't. Consistently comparing yourself to others can make you feel like yours isn't enough and lead you into a path of self-doubt. It's important to remember that everyone has different styles when it comes to revising, researching, and studying. So the only work you should be focusing is your own. A lack of structure in your studies can also negatively contribute to having a mental block. Not keeping to routine timetable can sometimes make things seem chaotic, which in turn make it harder to focus on the task you need to get done with. Not setting yourself smart goals can also contribute to getting mental blocks. There are many other causes that lead to mental blocks. Example, a student that has perfect excuses for failing. He avoids test, peer pressure, fear of failing, is distracted easily, depression, bad social environment, and etc. Now I will tell you about the third point, outdated study techniques. People often imagine that a student that studies for long hours is successful, but it is exactly the opposite. In the past, education was based on books and lectures. And students would have to spend hours in libraries looking through books for a project or research. They were told to sit down and told to memorize factual information. Students used to come to schools and colleges to gain knowledge, but in the future, it is all education is all based on iPads and websites. With the access of internet at our fingertips, we can use those hours of surfing through books and make them and create those hours into in seconds. Now students are told to sit down in groups and work on projects. It is not compulsory for a student to come to school to learn. They can learn from home. Teachers can help all students learn to more effectively use the time they spend studying by sharing research proven techniques. A student should be provided with new study techniques so he can study more effectively as the outdated study techniques which we can explain by they had long study hours, they were not given proper technology, memorizing things word to word, compulsory for students to attend school. Education is based on books and lectures, studying for long periods of time. Now in the future we have to keep the study sessions short and focused so a student can learn more. Create structured notes for what you're studying. Students should be provided with updated and new technology so they can learn easily. Teachers should make their class more entertaining rather than giving students boring lectures so they can study effectively. And they should make sure to create an atmosphere where every student can answer without hesitating. And I will like to end it over here. Thank you.
Hi, myself Laba Munawar, and I'm going to explain chapter 3, which is Boost. Boost stands for Busan Organic Study Technique, and this chapter will show you how to develop strong study habits and overcome those study fears, stresses, and anxieties. Boost is divided into two main strategies: preparation and application. Preparation have several parts, and the first part is the browse. Before doing anything else, it is essential to browse or look through the entire textbook, journal, lectures, notes, or periodical you are about to study. And the location of any result, summaries, and conclusion are the browse. And the next one is time and amount. These two aspects can be dealt with simultaneous because theory behind them both is similar. The first thing to do when sitting down a study textbook is to decide on the periods of time to be devoted. Having done this, decide what amount to cover in each time period. The reason for insisting on these two initial steps is not supported by findings. And the next one is strategies for success. The value of this section cannot be overemphasized, and it is divided into two parts: amount of information and goals. And the last, memory of movement. It is divided into two categories like arm movement and hand movement.
Hi, myself Mumina Khalid, and I'm going to be explaining the fourth chapter, which is speed reading. So, as we all know, reading is a very important part in our life because it develops our mind and mind is actually a muscle and it needs exercise just like every other muscle in our body. And understanding the written words in one way or the other, the mind grows its ability. And not just that, but we also get to discover new things because we get to experience the experiences of various authors and writers through their words. So, how can you self-test your reading speed? So the first step is to read for 1 minute and note your starting and stopping points. Then count the number of words on 3 lines and then divide that by 3, and then count the number of lines that you've read and then multiply that by the average number of words per line, and that will give you your reading speed. So let me tell you about the process of how you can read properly. So start off by reading 1 word at a time and concentrate. And your eye movement should be still if the object is still, and your eyes should be moving if the object is moving. And next, focus on your speed. Your speed should not be slow and it should not be fast as well. And the 7 steps to improve your reading speed are recall, recognition, assimilation, comprehension, knowledge, retention, and communication. And if you follow these 7 steps, then you would definitely be able to increase your reading speed. How to beat your reading problems. So the 3 steps on how you can beat your reading problems are subvocalization, finger pointing, regression, and back skipping. Your amazing eye. So eye is actually an optical instrument which has the retina and the optical lobe. And the retina is actually the light receiver and the optical lobe acts as an information hunter. So the exercises on how you can increase your mind's eye is by measuring your horizontal and vertical vision and see with your mind's eye. So the next part is reading bites. This would actually help you with review reading that would actually save a lot of your time, and also it would help you absorb information better, and this would also make your vision a lot better. The 3 key guided reading techniques are the double line sweep, the variable sweep, and the reverse sweep. And these techniques can be used for previewing, skimming, and scanning. How to supercharge your reading speed. So the first way is by improving your concentration. And causes of poor concentration are distraction, poor organization, conceptual distress, lack of interest, lack of motivation, vocabulary difficulties, inappropriate reading speed. Nextly, scanning and skimming. Scanning and skimming are basically finding information, analyzing information, or viewing information. The next is environmental influences, which could be sense of physical well-being and your environment, the place and the posture in which you're sitting. Next is mastermind your vocabulary. So vocabulary is used in 3 cases, which is either during word recognition, during writing, or while we're conversating with a person. How to use prefixes, suffixes, and roots. So firstly, browse through a good dictionary and keep the record of keywords and commit to making an effort on introducing 1 word in your vocabulary each day. Next, listen for new and exciting words and make a mental note to look up words that you don't understand. And this would actually help you with improving your use of prefixes, suffixes, and roots. So that was the end of the chapter number 4, which was speed reading, and now I'm going to be starting off with the chapter number 5, that is supercharge your memory. So the first part of this chapter is how you can help your brain to learn. So firstly, stay well organized, which is systematic or neat, and then second is accessible, which is reachable and attainable. Next is mnemonics, which could be a word, a picture, a system, or any other device which could help you recall a phrase, a name, or a sequence of facts. Then there are several misconceptions that people tend to have, which could be thoughts of not being able to hold information for long, or that memory fades with time as you get old. And actually, this is not true. Recall learning. So recalling what you're learning during or even after what you've learned is actually very important because it helps you re-access the information that you've just read or studied. Repetition. Repetition is actually very important for making things stay in our mind for long term, because rehearsal and practice would lead to long-term memory. And if we do not practice, we fail to recall, and which leads to forgetting things. Next is to make a decision whether to take a break or to carry on. So if you're tired, worn out, or exhausted, you should take a break. And if you're fresh and energetic, then you should carry on. So the two main core memory principles are imagination and association. So the main things that come under imagination are sense, color, rhythm, exaggeration, movement, etc. And the things that come under association are numbers, symbols, order, patterns, etc. So the two main key memory systems to adjust your studies are the number shape system and the number rhyme system. So this was the end of chapter number 5, which was supercharge your memory, and now Faiz would be continuing with the next chapter, which is mind maps.
Hi, I'm Faiz. Now we're going to talk about chapter number 6, mind map. What is a mind map? A mind map is a graphical network method of storing, prioritizing information. What are the components of mind map? A mind map is a component. Mind map's components are books, lectures, tutorials, and your brain. Mind map depicts your whole brain thinking, because your brain is a multidimensional organism that is capable of designing and processing thoughts. What are the key components of mind map? They are keywords and key images. In keywords, we use creative thoughts, special words, and visual components. In key images, we use analytical memory, drawing pictures, and senses. The basic ordering ideas of a mind map are preparing yourself to learn, the skills you need to learn efficiently, application, applying your knowledge and skills, keeping sharp, a healthy mind and a healthy body. Mind map. Mind map is the language of your brain, which means it is your senses, your exaggeration, your rhythm and movement, color, laughter, pictures and images, numbers, words, symbols, order and pattern, etc. Mind map depicts your radiant thinking, which is a process that proceeds from or connects to a central point. It is your external expression, and it reflects the radiant nature of your brain. How to create a mind map? Choose a topic, pick 3 to 5 main ideas, draw lines to connect topics to main ideas, brainstorm on main ideas, and draw lines connecting main ideas to supporting details with their supporting pictures. What to avoid when making a mind map? Avoid writing too much details, choose content first, prioritize what you are writing, create or share mind map in groups. This can be vital because if there is anything that is wrong, it can have a solution. Use mind maps widely across discipline. Organize your mind maps and deal with visual clues. Thank you.
So to end this video, I would like to thank our dearest Sir Afzal for giving us this opportunity and helping us throughout this whole project from the very beginning to the very end. And this whole project wouldn't be possible without his help. And this project was a very amazing experience because this made us learn a lot of new things, a lot of things which were related to teamwork and coordination, and this was a very pleasant experience overall, and we hope you enjoyed our video. Thank you.